Well, howdy doody to you all, and welcome to, well, you see, I'm not on a train, I'm at home, just trying to sort myself out. Got my coffee, which is the most important thing, and it's keep calm, I'm a tube train driver cup. So, I'm going to make, this is just going to be a short video. I keep getting asked the same sort of question: what happens if you overshoot a platform, or if you have a SPAD, so that's passing a signal at danger, so going past a red signal, and can we just reverse? Well, yes you could, but you're not going to keep your job very long. The principle is pretty much the same for both platforms and signals. The options, there's 3 options that can be done. There's also a 4th option for platforms, so we'll start with that. But I just want to say that what I tell you is specific to the Piccadilly Line. National Rail will have their own rules, and some other lines, even though they follow the same rule book we do, they might have slight amendments, so they may do things slightly different. So this is just specifically to the Piccadilly Line on London Underground. I say others might be slightly different. So, station overrun. So the option we have that we can't do when we pass a signal is what we call end door cutout. So there's a switch in the cab, and what will happen is in the first car, the first set of double doors won't open, and I think it's one of the doors of the next double set of doors. So roughly half the car doors in the first car won't open. So if you go past the barrier on the platform, and your first set of double doors is the wrong side of the barrier, you could use end door cutout, open your train doors, and detrain passengers that way, because then they're all getting off the passenger side of the barriers, if that kind of makes sense. Now you may have to get assisted dispatch and all that sort of stuff, but it's kind of irrelevant, just to give you an idea of the things we can do. So that's what you can do for a station overrun. So there is 3 other options that you can do, both for station overruns and for a SPAD. But what's most important thing is, if you have an incident, is from a driver's point of view, you do not move your train. Even though we have these options, they are not for the driver just to decide to put the train in reverse. That's dangerous and will probably cost you your job. So the options are what we call a setback. So that's a reverse. So you put the train in reverse, obviously, and you go back to your normal stopping mark or back to the right side of the signal. You can only do that up to 1 car length. So that's one option. Yeah, put it in reverse, but up to 1 car length. So if we was to pass a signal, we would probably leave the cab, walk back through the train, 1 to double check the signal number, and 2 to confirm how far past it we are. So the last one I had, which was a signal failure, I was about 2.5 cars past the signal, so a setback isn't possible under that situation. So that's one of them. The other one is just to continue to the next station, if it's a station overrun, or if you've passed a signal, just to continue. Now the difference between continuing from a station overrun to a SPAD is that if you've had a SPAD or you've passed a red signal, you're under rule, and there's other things around that you need to do, but we won't go into that today because it gets a little bit technical. So yeah, we've got setback, we've got carry on to the next station, or the other one is wrong directional move. So again, there's certain rules around it, but the gist of it is that you will change ends, so you're on the rear of your train, and you will drive it basically in the wrong direction for a set time. So when I say set time, that's not what I mean, up to a limit. So when you're authorised to do a wrong directional move, one of the things you'll be told is the limit of your move. So if it's on a station, it might be as far as the fixed red light. It could just be so that you're back in front of the signal, but they will tell you, because we can also do a wrong directional move for several stations. If there's an issue, you might have to do a wrong directional move because, I don't know, trees on the line or something. But they're really your main options. So we've got setback, so that's reversing the train up to 1 car length. Wrong directional move, so we will drive back basically in the wrong direction from the rear of the train to put the train back where it should be. That's a bit more difficult, trying to work out, it's not so bad in stations, but trying to work out if you're 2 cars past a signal when you've actually travelled 2 cars in the opposite direction. carry on to the next station, and then of course the extra one for overshooting a platform is end-door cutouts if you can. Like I say, there are rules around doing these things. As a driver, we can't just decide this is what we're going to do. We will have to wait for authority, especially for wrong directional moves and especially for setting back, because we need to ensure that there's not a train right behind us. The way the signalling system's set up, you shouldn't have an issue, but could you imagine putting your train in reverse? If there was a train close behind you, what about if they had a SPAD? You always run the risk of crashing into them. In theory, you should be probably at least 2 signals away, but why run that risk of having that incident? So you always follow your rules, always follow what you're told. The end-door cutouts are the only ones that we could just use under our own discretion, but we would always call it in, or we should always call it in. It's pointless trying to hide these incidents. Mistakes happen. Best thing is just to own up. So if you're ever involved in any of if you're ever on a train and something happens like this and you wonder why it takes a while to reverse a train or do a wrong directional move, it's because they're getting everything into place. So they need to make sure there's a train held at a specific location behind you. If you're on a station, they need staff down to make sure that there's no one behind your train on the track or leaning over the edge or trying to board your train, all these kind of things. So it can take a while for what is a relatively simple move to do to head back. So I hope that makes sense to you all. What I might do is I might do a few of these and put them out as bonus videos, just short little videos when I'm not on the train and I can concentrate a little bit better of talking to you and explaining. So that's what we do. Signal over, passing a signal or station overrun. There are options, but of course the best thing to do is not to do either, because it's so much easier. It's less stressful for the driver, passengers and controllers. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, take care.